Hello, Dr. Riley and classmates. My informative speech is on armed security in colleges. In today's world, there's a big need for protection in the colleges. The big question is what has changed. There has been so many things that have changed. Throughout this speech, I'll try to explain what has changed and what precautions that we can implement to have a safer college. There are 5 major issues in today's campuses. Drug and alcohol is a big issue. These kids start out watching their parents do drugs and alcohol, and they copy them. And they decide, well, if it's good enough for my parents, it's good enough for me. So they're doing it more and more. Then the second thing is signs of abuse, because the kids are beaten when they're young, and as they grow older, it's continued to be beaten. And then bringing that problem to school. It's never been directed. And then the third one is gender discrimination. Whether it's male, female, or transsexual, whatever they call it, there's gender crossing the line. What line is it? Do they get a better position because of their gender? Or a less position because of their gender? That can be a problem in the school. And the fourth is cultural diversity. You get so many people from different countries, different religions, that you got to learn to deal with it. You might not know their language, you might not know their customs, but you still have to deal with it within the school, whether you're a student, you're a professor, or just the staff of the school. And the last one is the workplace violence, because we have it where I work at a university doing armed security, and you have people that are stalking people in the school. It could be it could be a student being stalked, could be a professor. The problem arises. What do you do when that happens? Well, in our school, we have a picture of that person, and the security person has that picture and can identify that person if he comes to school, and they have a description of the car. But today you see more and more young people turn to drugs. When I was in my 20s, you never heard about drugs in schools. It never happened. But in today's world, you do. The students are dealing with physical and verbal abuse at home. The drinking and drugs go hand in hand with the abuse. Now you're dealing with gender discrimination, when a person might be discriminated against because they are a certain gender, wanting to do something that their gender usually does not do. Then you have different cultures that are trying to adapt to a new environment. They're getting rejected because they are different. Then there's the workplace violence. This could be a fight with you or a significant other. This might be a stalking from the ex. You just don't know what you will run into as a security officer. Working at the university, I try to get to know each student, each staff member. Be cordial to them. Talk to them, get to know them, see their mannerism. And if I see something change, is there something bothering that person? So I keep an eye on that person a little bit more. But people think doing security work is easy. It's not easy. There's a lot you have to know. You have to know what triggers somebody, what could cause the problem that they might be having. So I keep an eye on that person, making sure that if I see a change, that everything, I can be aware of what might happen. But here, the school security should be improved in 4 easy steps. Number 1, respond preemptively. Number 2, control the access to the school. 3, harden the classroom. And 4, on-site incident response. Preemptively means providing an environment with psychological security. Is there somebody in the school that person can go to talk to? You send that person that has the problem to the one that can counsel them. And control the access to the school. If you have 1 or 2 openings to the school, then you watch those 2 exits, checking out the person that comes through the door. And 4, on-site response. That means you have somebody that can take care of injuries when the response happens. Hardening the classroom is, do you pull a shade down in the windows if you have an incident so that person cannot see? Lastly, your incident response, the school it train you how to respond to these incidents. You have first aid. We have nurses at our school that can render first aid. So here you have all these situations that might arise. It is, what are you going to do with the situation? You act calmly, and you act calm, and do it now.